We're just about to break up to the top of Smith Peak. As you can see, look at the clouds. Came up here for breakfast. We were gonna do another long hike, but save that for another time. Get this, last night I drive all the way up to the trailhead where I'm gonna start. Scott's gonna be at the other side of the range. Break out my camera. I go to erase the trip prior, no memory chip. I remember I pulled them all out on my last trip and they're on my computer bench. I had to go back home, which is over an hour, get my chips, and then by that time it was getting pretty late. It was gonna be an all-nighter, so. But I'm on Smith Peak now and he'll be breaking up here pretty soon. We're gonna have breakfast and then he's never done the entire Bear Creek. So he's parked down there at West Fork. He's parked up here actually, I'm down there at West Fork, and we're gonna do Bear Creek. We're taking advantage of it being the day after Thanksgiving and probably nobody in the range, very few. Haven't seen anybody yet. So hoping to see some bears, mountain lions or something. But first, breakfast up here. There's Mount Wilson, way over there. Look at this. We are totally, I was up above it. There's a road down there. We're way up above it. So we're gonna kick back. I'm gonna kick back right there and make myself a breakfast.
No wind at all. Look at this.
Smith Peak.
Awesome.
There used to be a ammo box here with a sign in somewhere, but there's the little thing there. I'm gonna try out this military cook set with this Starbucks shot. I think it'll work. I got some oil there, some eggs, some potatoes, some onions. This thing is putting out some serious heat. So it did work with that stove. That stove's got these little nubs on it, like pinched here and here and here. So when you set down, it allows it to breathe. Works real good, especially with this. And it weighs next to nothing. I put it in this end mill cutter case and works great. Got some bacon going over here.
Bacon.
Brought a couple tangerines, a couple eggs. In a few minutes I'm gonna add some onion to that, and a little butter, and then I'll add my eggs directly to it.
Don't buy this coffee.
My ex-girlfriend Molly gave me this about 3 or 4 years ago. This Veranda blend, Starbucks, and I've been saving it for a special occasion.
Turns out it's
turned out this is a special occasion. When I opened that up, what did it look like?
It looked like beef jerky.
It was one solid flat piece, broken off into pieces, and it is horrible. But I gotta choke it down. It's the last thing she gave me. I gotta choke it down, make it part of my DNA.
Thanks for the memories.
Thank you, Molly, wherever you are. If you're still watching my videos, I very much doubt it. But if you'll get a kick out of this, I drank that coffee you gave me. You gave me this in your kitchen, I believe. Bitter to the end.
That coffee.
And it's bitter to the end. Oh. Okay, we're off of Smith Peak, Smith Saddle. We're headed down. Okay, right there is where the trail that goes Smith Peak, Smith Saddle comes down into this and into Bear Creek. So we're gonna kick back here for a few minutes and then head down river. Come out at my truck, the West Fork. Hardly any water left down here. I've been here where it was up to the trees, going across waist deep a decade ago. Right here, this tree to that tree, my hammock was hanging, and my nephew was back there on an bivvy when we heard those voices. Now look, the river goes over there. How could the voices be coming from that side? Then we heard them up there. When we turned those lights on, the voices stopped. Look at somebody camped right there with a fire. Scott had never completed this hike, so it's all Poison Oak. I'm gonna come back here for an overnight. Again, it's been a while. Seeing some small trout in some of these larger ponds, larger pools. By small, I'm talking Rapala size. Look at that, the water used to come under here. Frank and I from the other side, a buddy of mine, Frank and I used to throw our flies upriver and hook them in here, nymphs, and they'd hit and they'd sink and they'd come back through here. We'd get trout. We saw some big carp back here back though in the 90s, I believe it was. Big carp back here. Whoa. Here we used to cast from this side, throw them up here, and how the river comes down, it'd swoop and cause a swirl. Our flies would get sucked in there and pulled under there, get hit almost every time.
I can't really zoom in.
Frog master, master of frogs, look. Shooting the rapids now. There he is. He went that little outlet right there. Climbed out.
Did you have an opportunity to go?
No, but I do have the opportunity to go, oh yeah! Look at this. Watch this, ready? Okay, look at this. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. We're already back to third. The stream's completely dry at this point. Not a drop of water. It's been about a quarter mile since we've seen water. Look at this from the drought. These trees are just falling everywhere. Look at that. Dry everywhere you look. Used to be a nice trout fishing area here. Stopped up here to make a coffee. We're already back at, what, first campground? Yeah, first campground. At what time is it?
It is 3 o'clock.
So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. We're 8 hours in. We got about an hour.
13 miles.
13 miles. We don't have that far back to the car though. Well, we just been casually walking, but we're back at this campground where Matt and his mom were right there, and I was over there, and everybody else was down this way. We all camped here. This is a great campground. Or Matt's dad and mom. Matt wasn't here that day. We had a cook-off here once. Some guys were down there cooking. They came up screaming. Massive rattlesnake was cruising along there, coming right at them. I go running down there in shorts and flip-flops. Grabbed it by the tail. And right over here one time, Jeannie and I used to come up here, this camp or the next camp, every other Wednesday night, and we'd meet up here. She lived in Universal and I lived Orange County. We'd meet up here and cook dinner and hang out. And one time we were crossing right here, and there was a snake in the bottom of the river. So I thought it was a dead snake, floated out, sunk. I went to grab it and it took off. Some sort of snake fishing. I didn't recognize what kind of snake it was though. Not seen one before or after. It was probably about 2 feet long. A lot of memories here. So here we are, back on the West Fork. Got about 7/10 of a mile. Actually, right there, let me see. 8/10 of a mile. That was close. 8/10 of a mile back to my truck. And then by the time we get back to his car, it's gonna be 4 o'clock. And the mileage is right around 14 miles?
Yeah.
14 miles. A lot of elevation gain at first, and then down, and then pretty level. It was a nice hike though.
Epic.
The only animal we saw en route was one squirrel, which I thought was a bobcat, it was so big, and
Service dog,
and there was that one girl coming out of the canyon. As we were going over the saddle, she came around the corner all frightened with the 35mm camera. So it's the only wildlife we saw on the trail today. No lizards, no snakes. Oh, tick. He had a tick in his neck.
No, it was an ant.
But no bears, unfortunately. No mountain lions.